Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Backwoods podcast. We're on episode 5. I'm Trevor.
GodlyGeek Rex, and this is Scott, also known as Sonic Euphoria.
Scott is a very important member of the community. Everybody already knows who he is, and we don't even really got. He's a man that needs no introduction.
Pretty much, yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hey, it's my honor and pleasure to be here. So thank you guys for inviting me on. I appreciate it.
So I guess you want to start with the questions?
Oh yeah, we got a lot of questions for you, Scott.
I made that real awkward right there, my bad.
He's making everything awkward in today.
It's all good.
But anyway, Scott, I got a question for you. What got you watching reactions on YouTube?
That's a good question, and I had to think about that for a second. But most of it was because I've listened to music my entire life, but I've listened to everything from classical all the way up to power metal with like bands like Dragon Force. But the longer I spent on YouTube, the more I realize how many different genres and how many different artists and how many different bands I never knew existed. And so I just saw this opportunity to kind of expand my musical horizons and just knowledge and experiences with different bands. And just kind of went down a rabbit hole.
Are you going to say you like Mongolian throat singing or whatever that's called?
That stuff's pretty interesting.
That was
I don't know about you.
Like honestly, that's one of the ones that I was like, I never knew that was a thing. And watching videos, I was like, okay, that is not what I expected it was going to sound like. I mean, because when I hear throat singing, I literally was thinking like a Mongolian chant, because that's what I'm used to hearing from like recordings. But the fact that they had like rock music in there and like the vocals and the lyrics, I was like, that surprised me. That's the kind of thing that when I find something like that, I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like that exists on YouTube, and I can find more artists like that. Like that's really cool.
Yeah. So what did you say your favorite was?
Well, I mean, one of my favorites is Nightwish. When I discovered them, like symphonic metal is just. Because honestly, like, Floor Jansen and then seeing like Ghost Love Score, that blew my mind. I never knew that existed.
That's true.
And I kind of took a journey down a rabbit hole with them, and just the amount of variety that they display with all their songs. Like no two songs are really alike. And even though some of them are kind of on the long side, it's literally like taking a journey through a story because of how they segment each song. Like The Poet and the Pendulum is a great example. You go through like 4 different types of songs in one performance, and it's like I've never seen that before. So
right. And even with like older like 80s music, like rock and roll, they were just longer songs, and I appreciate that because you got a whole guitar solo in there too. And I'm just a sucker for guitar.
I always wonder.
Oh, I am too. Yeah.
I wonder how their live shows work. Like, how like some people that have like, okay, we got a set list of like whatever 12 songs or however long it takes to do an hour. Do you think they only play like 3 songs a show because each song lasts like 3 hours?
We got an hour to burn. Okay, we're only doing these 3 tonight.
I feel like they're the kind of band that like you'd almost want to like close a concert or a festival out with them, because something tells me that they're like they're gonna have thousands of people out in the crowd. And so they're like, if the fans are like craving another song, they're screaming, shouting, more and more and more, they'd want to be able to perform another song to finish out the night,
like an encore.
So,
right. So, and that kind of segues into I guess the next one, and this goes for all of us, I suppose. What is one of your favorite songs right now?
I'll go first. My favorite song right now that I just keep listening to over and over again is "Time Will Fly" by Sam Tompkins. I don't know why.
That is a very good choice.
Yeah, I keep listening. I've listened to that song like 100 times since I recorded it. And
it's so good.
Yeah, I genuinely love Sam Tompkins is nasty, and
he is so good.
Yeah, and just the lyrics of it is like so good. Like he has a lyric in that song, something about something along the lines of you'll even find love, and then something about losing it, but that's life. And I just thought that was like that just feels good. You know what I mean?
It's like it's like you're gonna find it over the course of your life, but you're also gonna probably lose it.
Yep.
Too.
And
that's just part of life.
Yeah, and that's just part of life. And for me, that's like kind of like confirm or reaffirming. There we go. That's the word, reaffirming. reaffirming to hear somebody else say, that's life. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I really like that. So.
Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna say the same.
I'm gonna say the same thing too.
Like honestly, that song. Well, Time Will Fly, See Me, and I just listened to his Hero song, and that was
that was
I like that.
That's
I like all of
one.
them. Like Sam, he's a great artist. He could sing, and it's awesome to hear him, do it.
Well, the thing for me is like you look at "See Me," and it's the lyrics that hit really hard because they're just so deep and powerful and meaningful. But then you look at a song like "Lose It All" and you hear his vocal range and just how good he can sing. And then you go to a song like "Time Will Fly," and just the journey you hear him going on. You see the visuals of him when he was younger, and then as he progresses, you see where he was. And then where he is now, like it's amazing the way.
I learned. I watched the short. I learned why he wrote that "See Me" song. I think it was because of his life coach.
He got a life coach.
Oh, I forgot. About that.
He wrote it after a session, I believe. I don't know if that's 100% accurate. Don't fact check me on that, but that was just cool to see. I was like, dude, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I remember him posting a picture of him hugging his life coach. Because I think it's a she inspired him to write the song, and so I think it was him basically thanking her and like hugging her and letting her know that she inspired him to write it, which is really awesome to give that thanks back to her.
And that "See Me" part where he says scared to take off my shirt, and I lost like what, it's like 30 some pounds over the last
congratulations.
Like that is awesome.
I get the whole mentality. It feels like I didn't lose it. I feel like I still have it. I mean, it feels like I'm just that 350 guy, not the 320 guy. So because I'm just so used to it. It's like I can see that mentality of, nope, that shirt stays on.
Yeah. I think that you'll always have that mentality no matter what. You can be in the best shape ever.
I was just thinking the same thing.
I'm the same way. Like I weighed 300 pounds and now I weigh 180. And like for me, I feel like I'm in decent shape, but I still would never ever not wear a shirt. You know what I mean? Ever.
Right.
So it's just like ingrained in you. And then like I noticed too, like I don't really have too many like jelly rolls or whatever you want to call it anymore. But like I still like I'll pull my shirt away and do stuff like that because when you got the jelly rolls, you sit down and you get
it's like oh man, gotta pull that out. It's getting stuck. Hold on.
I still do that all the time. And like I do the whole like when you have when you sit down and there's a pillow there and you put the pillow on your stomach like
in front of you.
Yeah. I still do all that. It's just something that like you never get rid of if you were overweight long enough.
Yeah, because I've been overweight since I was a kid. So, and I'm 30 and almost 3. So it just tells you how long I've been overweight. Man, I'm gonna have a shrinky face, and then my head's gonna get smaller, and I'm like, hey, the hat's finally gonna fit.
I mean, I feel kind of weird like saying this myself, but like I'm kind of the opposite way. Like even though I've been skinny most of my life, I still have kind of the same thoughts. Like I don't feel comfortable like going to the beach without a shirt on and having people see my body because I've never really been satisfied with how my body looks. So I mean,
we all kind of relate in that song. It's just like the songs he usually sings is so relatable.
Yeah.
And that's just an awesome about that artist, Sam. But anyway, let's move on to the next question. Now this is for Scott. Can you share a reaction that helped you get through a hard time? It doesn't have to be ours. It could be any reaction.
Yeah, I'm actually going to reference this one because I had to think about this one.
Okay.
Let's see how this works. Yeah, that one. It's actually from both of you, and that was your reaction to "Dominoes" by Ren. Because that one hit me very hard. Just like the self-confidence and never being enough, and what our society just throws in our face about you're never going to be enough. You're ugly. You don't look good enough.
Man.
Just yeah. I mean that one just hit me really hard because I've had those thoughts before. Like I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not. I'm not handsome or whatever the case may be. I don't have enough money and all of that. So, but you guys had two of the best reactions I've seen to that song.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs by him. Like genuinely, I love that song. And
because both of you had really powerful and like relatable reactions to it, and just how you discussed the lyrics and like how you were able to relate to what he was talking about.
Right.
Like, that made it that much more meaningful and powerful.
I mean, I personally, I've had those thoughts too. I mean, who hasn't, right?
Yeah.
Like you never think you're enough or whatever. Maybe
Even people that look like amazing.
That's the thing. That's what gets me.
Yeah, people that look amazing, they'll find some flaw and just be so down on themselves because like everybody.
Well, then it's like they're looking that, and that's what gets me. Like they think or feel that way because that's what they're looking for. Unfortunately, well, there's got to be something about me that's not perfect or that's not right. I'm like, well, why are you looking? Why are you actually focusing on that? Why are you looking for that? What's going on up in your head that makes you think that's what you should be focusing on instead of what you actually do have and what you have to give?
Yeah, I could be like, my nose is too big, and then you know, I could be like, oh, I need surgery or something. It's like, no, you don't. What?
Yeah.
So I mean, the fact that
your nose, it makes you unique.
Well, that's the thing. Like the fact that both of you basically echoed the same sentiment of you are enough, you're fine just the way you are. You should learn to love yourself, not think about what society is preaching every day to you. And you read magazines and you see all this stuff on the internet. Because that's what happened to me. Like that's one reason why I'm so self-conscious about myself. Because I see all this stuff, I hear all this stuff, and I read all these articles, and I'm thinking, man, like I feel like I'm inadequate. I feel like what is there about me to love or to appreciate or like? You know, is anybody going to find something about me, about me they don't like?
Don't listen to the haters. Don't listen to the people that talk trash. You know, hey, so that's their opinion. Just don't make that your opinion, right?
Well, that's the thing. Like the thing I discovered through just my life experience is that you both echoed this in your reactions, is the more you surround yourself with positive people and just positive reinforcement and kind of rewriting that record that's playing in your head about talking negatively about yourself, over time, kind of the easier it gets to actually believe that, but it takes time. It is a process.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, you guys all gave me confidence and reactions, so
yeah, that's how I was. I mean, when I started, like I had zero confidence. I thought people were gonna be like, "Dude, this dumb redneck, this, like
this guy,
like, but
like, who does he think he is?" Kind of thing.
Yeah, who do you think he is? And I was so scared to start, but once I started, everybody was so nice, I got addicted to it. So a lot of the times, what you have in your own head ain't how people see you in the first place. So it's
that's a great way to phrase it, actually.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
I actually have a question before we get into the next one, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Now, this is just a personal question I wanted to ask you. What was your first job? That's always an interesting question.
Well,
now, are you asking both of us, or who are you asking?
Whoever wants to answer.
Oh, okay. Mine was actually Best Buy as a cashier for, I think it was like a year. And then my supervisor and manager came to me like, you're really good at this. Like, you're really good with customers. Like, we want to see you go over to customer service. And I mean, I was scared. I was nervous because in my head, I'm like, hey, this is what I'm used to. Like, I got too comfortable and too complacent, and I didn't want to change. I didn't want to try that out and move over there. And then the irony is, when I moved over there, I actually kind of enjoyed it more because it was a different, like, the front lanes were always so hectic and just moving so quickly. But with customer service, things kind of slowed down, and it gave you more time to actually talk to customers, understand what was going on with them, like not just the transaction, but what they actually needed from the experience.
I can see you being amazing at customer support.
Hey,
dude can talk to a wall. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude,
I know that's the running joke in the family, but
I don't know if it's a joke anymore. I'm just gonna be real.
You need to get a Reggie on your wall. That way you can at least.
Hey Reggie, how's it going today?
Well, because like everybody knows that I like I'm almost addicted to lounge chat. I'll be completely honest. Like,
I told him I'm gonna disconnect him if he just doesn't listen to me. I'm like, Scott, you better go to bed. I'm gonna disconnect you.
and you, I mean, I can tell you're kind of half joking but half real about it, because even I can admit that's like, at a certain point it's like, hey, you enjoy it, but there are other things to do outside
like sleep.
Hey,
I'm the first one to sleep. I'll tell you that right now. I'm the first one to sleep.
We all know Trav just falls asleep.
Well, I've almost fallen asleep in there before.
Yeah,
So,
dude, I love falling asleep in the Discord though. Like listening to y'all talk, dude. I'll wake
Last
up.
night
y'all
you
be-
just bounced out.
Yeah, last night I did.
It's like crap. I'm up too late.
Real quick before we move on to, I got a piggyback question on that, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
And now this could be, now I want both of y'all to answer this one, okay?
Okay.
All right.
And this could be in the past or the present. What
Okay.
when you were younger, what was your dream job, or now what is your dream job?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Okay. What you wait? Do you want to ask both those questions? Like what now?
Well,
is
if they're the
job?
same, then that's fine. Like if you know what I'm saying. Like I feel like now you're
Oh,
probably
they definitely aren't the same for me, at least.
I feel like I was gonna say for you, I feel like you're gonna say YouTuber now or something. But I want you to say like what when you were younger, what was
Okay, honestly, this
just
is what
just
I
say
had.
that. Just do that.
Okay,
when you were
okay.
younger, what was
I get
start
you.
with that one.
yeah.
So basically, when I was younger, I thought I was let's see, the first real like job I wanted to pursue was actually wrestling.
Really?
I wanted to,
Man,
yes, I wanted to get into wrestling.
That's
answer.
actually cool.
That's actually
Yeah, I wanted because
interesting.
I haven't watched in a while, but I'm a big fan of WWF. Well, WWE now. But yeah, I was really hardcore set to do it. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get out of high school and go for it. Sign up. And then I really looked into the process of everything and like how hard it is and how hard you have to work to even get on that level. Because you don't start there. You start in independent, and that's brutal, and it's painful, and it's exhausting, and it's like, yeah, you think YouTube's a lot of work. Well, it is, but like you put your body through a lot of pain.
Yeah,
for entertainment.
It takes a lot of technique and skill to perform those moves too.
It really does.
Oh yeah, you're basically a stunt person at that point. They like, as much as people might flack me for this, but yeah, the WWE is fake to a point. It's scripted. It's scripted wrestling, and that's what it is. And I still respect it because they put their bodies on the line.
To me, I respect it more that it's not real. You know what I mean? Like I respect
like
it.
somebody literally, like I remember
acting. Literally.
Like I remember the Shane McMahon, Hell in the Cell. He was like, I'm gonna go up there, and he told his kid and everybody this. I'm gonna go up there tonight and jump off that top of that. I'm like, dude, that's like 20, 30 feet in the air. You insane? Like, no, I'm going to do it. And he did it. He right into the table, like not even on a person, right into a table. But it's like,
but dude,
it's like,
that's even like Logan Paul. Like, I mean, Logan Paul, like people can talk all the crap they want to about him, but he's actually nasty as a wrestler. Like he does some cool stuff.
He can talk crap about him, right? But he's kind of smart with business, you know. He got into now he was in YouTube, and obviously there was a lot of drama in that. But anyway, he moved into boxing first, and then he went to other things, and you know that. But then he's getting into WWE. Like that's crazy. But yeah, that was my first like so-called dream job, is wrestling.
What about you, Scott?
Here comes the nerd in me. So I it's kind of no secret in the community and the family that I love video games. Oh, yeah. So when I was a kid, I started playing when I was 5. I started with the Atari 2600 and Pong. And as I graduated to Nintendo and PlayStation and all that, there was always this desire for me to actually be hired by a video game company and do play testing or be a community manager. And as I kind of got older, before I got into college, I was even thinking about doing like development and actually trying to go in and actually learn, because I started learning about the engines for them and what they could do. And that blew my mind, because I saw the technology that was going into them. And when I saw kind of the potential of what they were going to become, and you know, as time's gone on, seeing 30 years of growth, it's crazy to see where they've actually gotten to. So I mean, in a sense, that's still kind of there in the back of my mind. But the irony is, as the longer I've played games and learned about the engines and just what goes into development, the more I've kind of like, I'm not sure how much I actually would enjoy doing that, because the way the industry has shifted and changed. Yeah. I don't know how enjoyable or satisfying that would actually be to deal with that side of things. Like playing them is one thing, but actually the development side of it is a completely different situation and experience.
Oh, it is.
And just watching interviews with developers, I'm like, I'm not sure anymore. Like
Yeah.
I'm kind of questioning it.
It's
So
all right, Scott. You didn't want to do the math. I get it. I get it.
Nobody wants to do math. Nobody wants to do math.
Well,
Because
that was-
that's the thing you don't know about coders. They have to be crazy smart.
oh
at
my
math.
gosh, yeah, like the programmers, the coders, like the
I look at coding and I'm like, what is this? What is this alien language to me? That's what coding is to me. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting because like you look at Unreal Engine 5 and it's supposed to simplify and streamline a lot of processes.
Right.
You still have to know how it works. You
Still got to know coding.
You still got to know coding, and you have to get it.
Then you put the wrong, you put a little
one
tiny
wrong
word
line,
in, one word in 7 years of work. Boom. It's like, what happened to it? Oh crap. It's all broke. It's all broke and I don't know how to fix it.
Yep. I didn't even say what my first job was.
Yeah, what is your first dream job? I want to know this now.
Well, my dream job, was a musician. That's pretty obvious.
I think
I mentioned that before. My first one was I want to be a musician. Like I worked so hard for that dream too. I want y'all to know that. I worked so hard for that dream. I played in bands, I played in churches, I played anywhere they'd let me play, I'd play. And I just kept trying to get better and better and better and try to level up, I guess, to like get to a band where I could like get gigs and everything.
Right.
And I just ended up never.
I respect that.
Hey, it's a grind. Like, and that's the thing. We look at musicians now and we see how much they grind.
Oh yeah.
You know, Trev, how much they grind.
Oh yeah.
And
you know firsthand.
Oh yeah. I know. Like, especially like if you're from a scene that isn't that musical, I guess. Like for me, like there's a lot of country artists and everything where I'm at, and believe it or not, there's a bunch of country rap where I'm at.
Really?
The hip hop. Yeah, there's a lot of them.
I've never heard that term before. I learned something new today.
Yeah. There's a lot of them around here. But as far as like just musical like bands and stuff like that, there's not a whole lot of them.
Right.
So it made it a little harder. But that was my dream job. And my first job was I worked at a clothing store trying to sell clothes.
Yeah, I think
I was pretty good at it.
You and your brother are gonna make some albums. I'm telling you now, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I keep telling you,
dude. He's a great singer. Like seriously, it was chopping out, and I was like, dude can sing, and he was like eating a spicy chip and everything. He was like, dude can sing.
Yeah.
And you playing the piano, I'm like, dude, what is this?
Well, it's interesting because he was even telling you, like, you got on the piano and he started singing, and he was like, it's like, oh no, it's the guitar. You handed the guitar to him, like, I wanted you to play some guitar. He's like, well, I'm a little rusty. I'm like, I don't think you're rusty. You're doing pretty darn good over there, and you can sing.
We just
too. Like,
us normies just like look at like, what is this?
Yeah, because I mean, I played flute in middle school and high school, so that's the extent of my experience of playing an instrument.
Yeah,
like,
I play that.
But for you to do drums and bass and piano, like, I wish I had that level of.
That's a lot of practice and a lot of dedication to instruments.
So I definitely respect you for that.
Yeah. Yeah, him and me both used to play like a whole lot, and like we were like so good together. Like I mean, y'all can kind of see like when we was working together. Here's like, oh, it goes like this. You go, you know. But it really helps. Like honestly, like I attribute both of us being decent from each other. You know what I mean? Because when we
you kind of work off each other. Right?
Yeah. So it kind of helped a lot.
You do that really well. So
I really want to do some covers with him and maybe even write some music or something and put it up there.
I would love if you guys.
I'll produce
like an actual EP. that'd be awesome.
I'll mix it together and produce it. Just give me the files. I'll do it.
I'm pretty sure if you guys released an EP, like the whole BWP family would buy it.
That's what's kind of crazy. Like
they support you guys.
That's what's kind of crazy. Like with the community we have now, I feel like we could like whatever like dream I've always had to do. Like if I wanted to get into music right now, like I genuinely feel like everybody would support me in it.
Absolutely.
You know? So like
you got that following already. Now they just want to push in what makes you happy. Like I love reactions and I love music reactions, but we got a lot of plans. We got a lot of ideas going on down the pipeline. So it's not like we're gonna take away and stop doing them, but we're gonna add to it, right? It's gonna be awesome.
I'm looking forward to see what you guys come up with, what you guys do in the future.
And you know, it's funny you're talking about the Backwoods posse, because that's the next question. What for all of us?
You were asking about the job or younger and the job when we were older. I don't know if you.
That answered my question. I was just wondering what was y'all's dream job at some point. You know?
Okay.
So, yeah.
I mean, I'll really say this quick. It was kind of a dream, man. I wanted to be a storm chaser. like tornadoes specifically.
Ooh.
And then I realized it didn't pay, and that's the end of that.
It's actually interesting you say that, because at some point when I was younger, like I think I switched from the video game stuff. I actually at one point wanted to be a meteorologist.
Yeah, like storms are still fascinating
because
to me.
I saw what they did, but then the irony is when I figured out the education they needed and all of the knowledge, I was like, yeah, I can't do calculus, can't do physics, geography.
I can't afford it.
I just to get the degree to do it. Like I respect them and everything they do and the knowledge they have. But it's one of those things like I didn't feel like I was smart enough to be able to learn all of that.
So I'm an amateur storm watcher. That's all I am. But the next one is, what does the BWP family mean to you all? To y'all. Wow, I said you all. Wow.
That's
everybody's gonna hate me for that one.
You messed it up. I
messed up. My northerner.
You said you all and BWP in the same sentence. That can't be. We can't ever look at that.
I'm not looking anymore.
I'll start with me. What BWP means to me is, when I started, it was just me doing YouTube by myself, like just hitting record, not streaming, not talking to anybody, just hitting record, and it got kind of sort of boring. I'm not gonna lie. Like I love doing reactions, but at the same time, it got a little boring because it was like I'm just pushing this out, and we talk in the comment. Like I tried to reply to every single comment, and every comment just kind of like it was just like a one off. You know what I mean? Like I never talked. Like they might come back and comment on another video, but we never continued the conversation. So I seen other people doing the Discord. We started the Discord, and then that was we had a community build up, and like there was there's like the OGs like Jay and Sherry and all the there's too many to name. I ain't gonna name all of them, but there was a lot of OGs that was in there, and Mimi and all them, and we had a cool community and everything. But then Scott joined, and then he kind of turned it into like I honestly, like, I ain't trashing any other back BWP, but I think that Scott genuinely turned like how the thought process of our community went, because originally it was like just a normal community, and then it turned into like this family, and it turned into like this mission of trying to help people and everything like that. And I think that Scott's a big attributor to that. But for me, that's what the BWP means to me. It kind of gave me like a purpose. Like, and I know that sounds like crazy, but like I've prayed a lot to have a purpose. I've done a lot of soul searching to have a purpose. And I've always felt like I never could find it. Like, no matter what I tried, I've tried 500,000 different hobbies. I've tried 500 different things that I could do that could potentially turn into a purpose, and nothing ever did. But the BWP community has turned into my purpose. Like, it has turned into, I'm trying to, like, I genuinely feel like, as crazy as it is, that our community, as nice and brave and helpful and open as our community is, I genuinely feel like that we can make a difference in the world, like, for real. And I have some other stuff too. I was talking to Scott about, I won't reveal right now, but I have like some other ideas in the future that I want to do that could genuinely help the world. And like that's like what the BWP means to me. Like, I genuinely feel like there's like it's a world changing movement that could potentially happen if we keep continuing to grow it and keep the core values that we have. So
absolutely.
So, my bad. That was kind of long winded, but
oh no,
you're good, man.
No, I appreciate you talking, saying all that, sharing all that. It means a lot, actually.
And I'll go after, I guess, after Trev here. Yeah, like at first I was just like, oh, dude, I'm in Trev's server. This is cool. This is good, and I was like, can I put my stuff up? We're kind of working together, we're kind of collabing, and in a sense. And I was like afraid to do it at first. I'm not gonna lie, because it was his server, and I didn't want to infringe on his, like, the Backwoods posse. And then everybody was so open arms about everything, like just you and the family, and you guys like launched my confidence through the roof, where I'm just like, I know what I'm doing this for. It's like, yeah, I'm essentially doing YouTube for everybody also, but really there's a part of me that's just, hey, I'm doing this for the Backwoods posse. Like, seriously, that's just, and it feels awesome to do it every day. And we got so many ideas and plans, like you're talking about, that reveal at a later time, that just, like, who knows where this is going to go. And I'm just I'm so thankful and blessed. And like you said, I was praying to meet more people and to listen to people. Like if you know, or you may not know, or you might have known, I've tried to do podcasts for a very long time. And it just never worked, right? And I don't know why, but now we got this. We got this now. It's like, interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it means the world to me that we can have a Discord and come and hang out and talk and be ourselves and be real and talk about mental health or joke around, watch a movie, whatever it might be. And yeah, it's just, all hang out and have fun. Yeah, and that's awesome to me. It's like, it really, truly is a family in there.
It really is.
So Scott.
So I'm gonna try to shorten this just because it's a long journey, but for me it all goes back to my childhood and my personal experience with my own family. And other than my parents and my brother, the extended family with my mother and father's side, they were never really great about saying I love you or that I appreciate you or kind of expressing any kind of gratitude for just being there, basically being present. But then the other side of that is they also weren't comfortable talking about anything important. No serious topics were allowed, nothing that could be helpful to each other. Any struggles anybody was going through, that was off the table. You couldn't talk about it. And that was sad to me because I was going through stuff as a kid and growing up, and I wanted to be able to talk about it. And they're like, nope, you can't do that. We don't allow that here. It's like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do now? That's not helping me. So basically, when I started met my friends in school, I was able to form relationships with them. And I was like, well, even if it's not with my biological family, maybe this is where I'm going to get that from. And I had conflicting thoughts because I kept thinking, well, aren't I supposed to get this from my biological family?
Right.
But if they're not giving you that, well, you're probably gonna want to find it somewhere else. At least that's what I wanted since I was growing up. But it combines, I guess, with YouTube, with just music and meeting people, talking to people, learning about their lives, and what kind of music they like. Why do they like that kind of music? Where's their history or background? Where does that come from? And through that, I met Trev and I met you through Ren, through High Ren. And it's even thinking about it still, it's weird because I think as one of the videos shortly after High Ren, when you first announced, Trev, that you had created the Discord. And you're like, hey, I just created a Discord. Feel free to join. We're going to hang out there. We're going to talk. And I still feel kind of bad and kind of guilty about the fact that I went back to the welcome channel and I'm one of the first 15 people that joined the Discord. And I was kind of happy. And I was kind of happy and proud to be in there. I was like, this is really cool. Here's this person doing YouTube. Here's this guy doing reactions. And that High Ren reaction blew my mind. And I was like, I need to see what this guy's about. And I want to join the Discord and kind of see what's going on. But I was genuinely scared to talk to anybody. I didn't know what Discord was like. I didn't know what kind of people were in there. And so I just kind of watched the chat go by. And then finally I was just like, you know what? I like what I'm seeing here. Nobody's being negative. Everybody's being supportive. Everybody seems to care and love each other.
Yep.
And basically, first time I talked to anybody, all I received was love and support and appreciation. I was like, hey, we're glad to see you here. Feel free to talk about anything. And that's what means the most to me about the BWP family. It's we're so open, just about no topic is really off limits at all.
Yeah, right.
You can talk about whatever you want to. We share in everybody's successes and joys. But if anybody has any issues or problems, they're there for you. Mm-hmm. And it's taken me a lot to be courageous sometimes and post something because in my head I'm thinking it kind of goes back to the whole Sam Tompkins see me. In my head I'm thinking, well, crap, if I post this, what are they going to think about me? Are they going to, my first time I ever posted anything super meaningful about my life, about how I felt about the family. In my head, I'm thinking, are they going to freak out and be like, whoa, this guy's really intense. I don't know if I can, handle him. But it was the exact opposite experience. Everybody was like, dude, we love you. We appreciate you. We care about you. And that's, I had, when I was talking to Trev, that's been overwhelming for me, happening so quickly in 2 months. that I've actually been struggling with like self-esteem and self-worth issues, because in my head I'm thinking, well, what, this happens so quickly. It's the polar opposite of what I experienced growing up in my family. I don't know how to deal with this because I never experienced this much, love
Right.
and appreciation, support, let alone from people on the internet that I didn't know before. But I've seen how it's gone from a community of just people that love music and talking to each other. It's a genuine family of people that care about each other and are there to support you and show appreciation. And knowing that any one of those people not only would be there for me if I need them, but they would miss me if I was gone. Because I've had those thoughts too. I was like, well, what if I disappeared for a week? What would happen?
Like, where's Scott?
Where's Scott? Where's that 11:30 good morning?
Well,
I need my good mornings.
Well, as I say, like you, Jeremy, and Trev, and like Brian and other people all say, like Lizzie's a great example. She's like, I look for that message every morning because I appreciate the positivity. I love the positive energy you give off. And Trev has said, and you've said also, Jeremy, that it's set for you guys. And for me, I sometimes think, well, I'm just talking to people. I don't
just like we're just talking to people, ourselves.
I don't always necessarily feel like I'm really doing that much or contributing that much, but like you and Trev have both said time and time again, like, dude, you're setting the tone for the server that day. You're sending out that positive energy.
Yeah, we can't get above Scott's bar. I tried.
But I genuinely
appreciate that.
No, I genuinely appreciate that. Like, that means the world to me because of where I come from with my life, knowing that you guys notice that. Like I've had people direct message me or even text me like, hey man, like, the chat's quiet. Jeremy, you talked about, and Trev, you have too, about the chat is almost just completely silent unless I'm in there talking to people. So I don't necessarily see it, but you guys have talked about you notice it and you pointed that out to me, and I really appreciate that because sometimes I underestimate, I guess, my value in the family and what I actually contribute, and it's good to know that I'm seen that way, and everybody loves and appreciates and cares for me like that.
Yeah. Also, during this part, I want to give a shout out to Brian. Brian also does he hounds people to get in that lounge chat.
He does.
He tells us to go to sleep.
Yeah, he does.
He's like our dad.
I saw his post.
Get out of here.
He's like, wait, 4 a.m. the lounge is empty. About time y'all got some sleep.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen that.
No, Brian's awesome. He's awesome. The ghost of Backwoods.
Well, I appreciate him for chatting with people in the morning, or that he's driving to work or going to the store, and then like in a sense, I'm kind of holding down the fort at night because when streams are over, everybody joins the lounge and we get into a group at night. So we literally have the best of both worlds. It's kind of unfortunate that we can't always, because of time zones in our lives, we can't coordinate being in there together.
Yeah.
But it usually works out on the weekends. We have people like Tosh from Australia that can join us, which is amazing, and be able to talk to her. So
well, that's cool. That is cool. All right. So I'm guessing we're gonna wrap that one up with another question here.
I hope my answer wasn't too long, by the way.
No, you're good. You're good. Hey, it's a podcast. We talk.
Yeah, that's what it's meant for.
That's what it's meant for, to talk.
Yep.
Right. But this is a pretty serious question. This is for all of us. Someone you looked up to in life.
Yeah, that one's gonna be a rough one for me, probably. If somebody else wants to go first, they can. Unless you want me to get me out of the Yeah.
I may need you to go first, Jeremy. I got to think for a second.
All right. It's simple for me because this is always somebody that's been in my life. Now he's on his own. It's my brother, my oldest brother. He served in the Navy. He worked really hard. He did a lot of great things in his life, and he's like, it kind of shows you he worked for hard where he is. And now he's moved away, but still, just the example he set, he was a good role model as a brother. He's smart with his money, smart with this and that. It's like he just did everything kind of right, I think. And he's just been essentially a part of, just been like a hero to me, almost, like, I guess, if you want to call it that. And even though my stepdad and my other brother, they showed me a lot of great things too, but I just look at my oldest brother, and And I just think like, wow, how does he he works his butt off. That's the thing, a workaholic, I think.
Yeah.
But like it's amazing to see him like, living his dream, working, providing for his kid and stuff like that. And it makes me want to just like put that mindset instilled in me where I want to work. I want to work. I want to work. I want to work. And because if most people don't know, I'm on disability right now. And I'm still trying to work through that and get off that, and it's incredible that how far I've come in just the last few months or so.
Yeah.
And so I'm just really grinding at that now. I'm learning a little later in life. I didn't learn earlier in life. Wish I did. But hey, I mean, we all learn at different points in our life. But yeah, I would say, definitely my oldest brother, I look up to a lot and appreciate like what he's done in his past and like, just watching him from like afar.
Yeah.
I
think I look up to my brother a lot too. But I think I look at actually I look up to my mom the most because just her she raised 2 sons by herself, and I ain't gonna say all her business or nothing on here. but
their business,
but she's been through a lot in her life, and she always has prioritized me and my brother, and she has always been like she raised me to be the man that I am today, and I feel like I'm proud to say that I'm a good person. I feel like so she and my brother's like a really good person, and he's raising his son really well, and he treats his wife really well, and she just done a really good job of raising us and loving on us no matter what was going on. Like I remember like me being like, I think about when I was younger sometimes and think how stupid I was because I'd be like, oh, we can't get this, we can't get that, and I get mad because we couldn't buy something. I didn't even comprehend what.
Yeah, you started working for your money.
Yeah. Like I just didn't. And
you're like, oh, it takes all this to buy this.
Oh,
and it just amazes me sometimes thinking of all the stuff that she was able to do for us and how hard she worked to provide for us and to do everything the way she did. And I look up to her a lot, just like her character and how she is a lot. And like I said, she was like on Father's Day, I always tell her Happy Father's Day because she was like a father and a mother. Like she was like really good. She taught us everything we needed to be taught, and I think that's very impressive for a solo person to do. So especially with her being like a female, like a mom, and she was still able to teach us how to be good men. So I think that's like I look up to her a lot for that. That's mine.
Right. I learned a lot from my mom and my dad. So I mean, my brother still I look up to him a lot though. But I get you. So Scott.
Yeah. And the main reason I said mine's a rough one is because it's my dad, and it's because like it's 2023 and he passed away in May of 2003, so he's been gone for 20 years. But he taught me so many like good values about being a good person. Like, you guys talk about me being such a good person. Like he instilled that in me, like the golden rule: treat everybody the way you want to be treated. And it's one of the reasons why I am the way I am in the Discord. Like I want everybody to know what I experienced when I came in, and how welcomed I was. And just showing like he went out of his way to show that he loved me and to tell me he loved me every day and show me that he appreciated me, spent time with me. I mean, he was a CPA, he's an accountant for a living. And so he traveled a lot. He was a controller also. So he would go to a company for, a couple of years and he'd work with them and help them out. But then the assignment went in. And so he'd go to another company.
Yeah.
But when he would come back, and then every day he came back from work, he made sure he spent time with me and my brother, mainly with me, I guess, because my brother David was semi out of the picture in a sense because he was in high school and then he went to the Air Force and went to college. So my dad was able to spend more time with me. But I mean, it was just little things like going to a movie together, watching TV together, watching a movie, TV, reading to me, just spending quality time with me, and letting me know that he cared. And that's carried with me my entire life. Like I that's what I kind of remember the most fondly from him. And frankly, what I miss about him, like I think about him every day, and he was diagnosed with brain cancer and 6 months later he was gone, and that just turned my world upside down. I wasn't expecting that, and it's because when it was discovered, it was such late stage. You're like, yeah, he's not gonna live much longer. Like treasure every day you have left because you never know when they're gonna be gone. And
Yeah, that's true.
and that's I remind myself of that every day when I'm talking to everybody in Discord, and it's something that changes your life forever in ways you don't expect it to, but it's also reminding me to be a good person, to like I guess like there's a Shinedown song that actually almost perfectly explains it. How did you love? Because the whole point of the song is saying, you know, when you're gone, what people are going to remember is how did you love?
Ooh,
You know,
yeah, that's good.
that's
Rape.
like, wow, yeah, makes me want to cry. I'm not gonna lie, like, because that's what I want people to remember about me. Like, it's like you said, Trev, the other day. It's what do people say about you, and what do people think about you when you're not there?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was watching Victor Wooten. He's like this crazy bass player, and I'm sure he got this quote from someone else, but this is who I heard it from. But he said that people don't. He was giving a bass lesson and giving a music lesson as a whole, and he was saying that people will remember how you make them feel. They won't remember what you say, but they'll remember how you make them feel. And I feel like that's a very
Wow,
important lesson.
that's a really big one.
Yeah.
Right.
And
And
I mean, and I hope that I convey that with everybody when I'm talking to them, and just being trying to be as open as I can, accepting of who they are, and showing them that trying my best to show them that I love them and appreciate them. And I've talked to you guys about how sometimes I feel like I overdo it a little bit and kind of go a little overboard with saying I love and appreciate people, but
it's never enough.
It's because of it's because of losing both my parents. Like I want everybody, like I want the last words that I ever say to them that I love and appreciate them. I want them to remember that that's what I told them.
Right.
Right. You never know.
Like I said, you've honestly inspired me to be a better person when it comes to that. Like not to let it go assumed that I love somebody, let it go assumed that I care about them or something, like to actually tell them, go through the effort of telling them I love you and I appreciate you and I care about you. And like, that's something that you like being friends with you has taught me, like, because
that means a lot. Like you don't know how much that means to me. You really don't.
Like we all learn a little bit, from each
do.
other. Like honestly,
it's crazy how people come into your life and you learn a little something from every person. It's crazy how that works.
Good or bad, but
good or bad. That's why it's important to keep the quality of people that you have in mind in your life.
That's the thing, like Jeremy, the question you asked earlier about what does the BWP mean to us, like that's part of it for me. Is like I honestly and truly believe that I discovered you, Trev, and the family exactly when I needed to. Because if everything,
it's all like the
because everything that's been going on in my life,
feel like it's just a thing that was meant to happen.
In the Christian realm, we say it's a God thing.
Yep, we do. We say it's a God thing,
Yep.
So I mean, in a sense, I feel like it was kind of meant to be, at least for me. But I know a lot of other family members say the same thing. Like I see what everybody's going through sometimes, and all I think about is we're going through stuff, but we're going through it together. So we're helping each other, kind of come together and support each other.
Right.
You don't see that very often.
Honestly, like it feels like we have, like, we're not just like friends and family and all that, but it's like we're a help group. Like, and genuinely, it's like we're a support group.
Yeah, man. Like we're like the whole family and friend kind of, like I get that, but also being the help group. Yeah, I get that. I see that.
Yeah. Like everybody's like so comfortable and so like we've managed to create a space that is comfortable enough for people to share, and then everybody usually share, like whenever somebody shares, people have the perfect responses to it, and I'm like always genuinely impressed and so proud of the community that we have every time that happens.
Yeah,
because it's just everybody just helps and lifts up other people, and I love it. That's the reason I always, like I was saying earlier, like I feel like we can change the world because all it takes is that one person putting what's going on in their life and the BWP helping them out. Like that's all it takes to make them realize that they're cared for and loved for, and that's going to change their whole life. And if you change one person's life, you change the world. That's the way I think about it.
It's a rippling effect,
Yep.
Well, that's why I wanted to, when we talked before, and I wanted to impress on you, Trev, like thank you for telling me that I inspire you to be a better person, like that means a lot to me, because just you telling me that means a lot, but then you giving me reasons like why, like how I do it, like it gives me it drives me and gives me more of a purpose also to continue doing what I'm doing in the Discord, and it makes me even more conscious about what I say to people, how I come across to them, making sure that they actually hear me when I say I love and appreciate you, or if I'm helping somebody, let them know that I genuinely do care about them and want to help them. So I appreciate, thank you so much for saying that you see me that way. That means a lot.
Yeah, it is true.
All right. The one last question of the night here. Coming off the serious subject, but this one is one of your best moments in Trev's or mine YouTube. It could be a live stream, it could be a video. Like, what is your favorite best moments?
Yeah, I gotta pull that one up to remind myself. Because I thought long and hard about it. That's actually the one I had to think kind of the hardest about. But when I figured it out, it made total sense.
So who do you like more, Scott? No,
hey, the thing about it is it started from that high end video.
I did. So
if anything, Ren should be the favorite. If anything,
true.
There we go.
Let's shout out to Ren. Like,
I mean, he literally brought us together. I mean, I met Trev through him.
Ren was amazing.
I met you through 100%. Trev, and I literally met the entire family through Ren, and we all become huge, massive fans of his because of that.
Yeah.
So, with you, Jeremy, honestly, this might be a surprise. I don't know, but it would actually be when I joined your live stream and you were playing Graveyard Keeper, because I never imagined I never imagined they would just like evolve or morph from watching you play a game, and then 10, 15 minutes later, it literally became a one-on-one real talk episode with you. Like, that meant a lot, because just you being willing to, you didn't stop playing the game, but it kind of threw you off a little bit.
I watched that back, and I seen you just pacing, or like you was literally pacing in the game.
That's me in video games. I'm just gonna pace back and forth. I'm just thinking.
You're like, well, I guess I'm not gonna get anything done right now. We're just gonna chat.
Like a real talk speak here,
Well, but when
like my TED talk on a video game.
But I mean, why it meant so much to me and why it was so impactful was because at that moment you realized that I had some important stuff to talk about, and for you, the game literally became the least important thing. Like, you wanted to have a genuine conversation with me, and about life, and about what was going on with me, my thoughts and feelings, and it made it a much more personal, live streaming experience, and like you engaged with me in a way that a lot of other people might not do if they were streaming a game like that. So I mean,
I just like, when I play games, and I'm like, when people want to get real and talk, I'm just like, you know what, let's just talk. I mean, I'll sit here and pace back. I don't even remember. My brain was, I think it was fried that day.
But I mean, that just meant a lot that you were willing to, because a lot of other people that would do something like that, to them the game would take priority, and they would just be like, hey, like we can I'll talk about that later, but right now I need to focus on this. But you were the exact opposite. That's
the beauty of not actually making content about gaming anymore.
We
don't have to focus on the game.
So in a similar vein, actually, Trev, the one for you would actually be the first live stream I ever joined and actually actively engaged with you in the chat, because that's when I actually saw the level of engagement you had with the subscribers and viewers, and that was something I'd never experienced before. And that's what, it not only changed my outlook on you, but also the community, the viewers, and watching the conversations go by, but you would actually pay attention to the chat. You would read questions, you would talk to people. I think you're probably doing just hanging out and chilling and watching videos. I don't think you were doing any reactions at the time.
Yeah.
But you all were just talking about music and just having a conversation. And it literally, even then, way back then, it felt like just friends hanging out and talking about music and talking about life and just having conversations and just sitting back and talking. And that was really meaningful and powerful to me, because I mean, honestly, that's what I've always been looking for. And
Yeah.
I never thought I'd find it in a in a YouTube streamer, but
Yeah.
that's what made it almost more unique and special. I was like,
Yeah.
I've never seen this happen before. I want to experience this again. I want to actually start talking to people. And that's when I actually started getting engagement from other people in the chat too. And I was like, whoa, I'm actually like, they're talking back to me too. And I asked, like, not so much a test, but it was just kind of like, hey, I want to see where this can go. I started, I asked you a question, and I saw you actually see my question. You responded like, whoa, you actually responded. Like, I wasn't expecting you to do that.
Yeah.
But it just made it meant that much more that you actually, you take the time to actually engage people and have a conversation. And
Now
that-
it's hard to have a
lot.
conversation with him. Now he's getting too big.
No. But yeah, that makes me feel good that you say that though, because that's kind of like the vibe like I try to bring. Like, of course, I got the gospel musician reacts and everything,
Yeah.
but like the main focus for me is like I want to be people's friend. Like I told
Yeah.
Jeremy this one time like a while back that was like my goal. Like, there's different genres of reaction channels. I feel like there's a high energy, there's a lyrical breakdown, there's all this kind of stuff. And for me, I feel like I want to just be people's friend that like, oh, dude, check out this song. I love this song. And then I check it out. It's just like them showing me, like, if you were showing your friend a song.
Yeah,
And,
literally.
and
Yeah.
so that's how I try to make the channel. So I genuinely appreciate that you saw that. And
Hey, you're so well, like that. You're so welcome. Like, thank you for being you, and thank you for being, thank you for doing that on your channel, because
Right.
so many other people have found you and appreciate that about you. That's what makes you so relatable to me, that not only do you want to be seen that way, but you show it by being that way.
Yeah.
You talk like a friend that I've known in college and stuff, stuff like that. That's what it felt like when I joined the stream. It's like, this literally just feels like college friends, or just people that have known each other for years,
Forever, and it's been like 3 months.
Yeah, it's like
crazy.
just hanging out,
Crazy,
and
wild,
talking.
but good.
And that's I never dreamed that 2 months ago when I joined your first stream and then started engaging, that it would get to a point now where, like, I consider both of you my best friends and brothers now. I never dreamed.
Yeah.
If somebody had said 3 months ago or 4 months ago, like, hey dude, you're gonna like join a live stream on YouTube, and you're gonna be talking to the YouTuber, and hey, you're gonna end up going into the lounge and having a voice chat with them, and you guys are gonna become friends and hang out and play games together. It's like, I would have thought they were full of it. I would have been like, you're kidding me. Like, that doesn't, because in my head,
sound like me.
Because in my head, I had almost convinced myself that wasn't possible. That I saw, because I saw what other YouTubers, how they worked their channel, and how they didn't engage, and how they kind of separated themselves consciously. They didn't want to, like, they wanted a viewer streamer relationship, but for whatever reason they closed themselves off. They closed that gap, or they widened the gap so that they felt separated. But when I saw you doing the exact opposite, that's why I gravitated toward you. I was like, that's what I want. Like, I want that kind of experience. So thank you for being you and for being that way. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, like I said, that's my goal as like a streamer. I started streaming in the first place because I wanted to hang out. Like I said, like I wanted to have. I seen people talking in the comments, and that was fun. But like I said, it was just a one-off. So I was like, I want to have like a genuine conversation, and I was like, I'm gonna start streaming. And then I started streaming, and we just hung out, and I love it.
Now he streams a lot.
Well, I was gonna say, and I mean, and to be honest, I want to say the same goes for you, Jeremy, because you've been experimenting with the piano stuff and creating music, but also, even when you do the recordings, or you just watch a video for fun, you're engaging with us too.
Oh yeah, like I'm like, I was terrible on Twitch, and I know I was not the best, but the problem was with Twitch, it's like people were there and lurking and stuff, but not many people were talking. And I'm like, how do I engage with no one? So I just started talking to myself.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Because
hey, maybe some people found it entertaining. Like, this guy's talking to himself.
Hey, I found it entertaining.
There we go.
Yeah,
I don't even know how long Trev watched me for. I'll just be honest.
I watched you for
I
a
gotta-
couple of hours. You were playing Destiny. I remember.
No, I mean, like how long you've been watching me, like secretly, and like just like I remember he's talking
Before I'm
about.
actually
I
saying
remember
something.
Brian talking about a bear. I'm like, dude, I haven't used that bear in
the
months.
Avatar,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I watched for a while.
Well, that was the thing, Jeremy. Like you and I had talked about that,
Mhm.
and I would almost swear to you that I actually came across your channels. I think I saw like GodlyGeek or GodlyGeeks Reacts, and I saw that bear avatar. I think either in the thumbnail, and I actually clicked on it and pulled it up. And I didn't know what I was seeing. I was
I don't like this guy. I don't know him.
well, that wasn't that.
Get out of here.
I was confused because I was like, wait, what's going on? Like, is the avatar like is his mouth moving and like talking as you're talking? Because I really couldn't tell what was going on. So I think I did actually find your channel a long time ago and just didn't know.
Yeah, it was like this guy sucks. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I found you. I'm so glad I found you again through Trev and the BWP family, because you've become one of my best friends and brothers also. So
right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all the questions for today for me.
I guess I'm out of questions. You got anything you want to say, Scott?
You got any last words for the podcast for the people to watch or watching?
I just want to thank everybody in the family for being so welcoming and accepting me and showing the love and appreciation that they have. Means the world to me, guys. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And as my parting words usually are, I love and appreciate every single one of you.
Hey, that's the outro. That's the outro. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. See y'all in the next one. That's how it goes.
I live by that with the family. I really do. Y'all mean the world to me.
Yep. All right. Well, I guess we'll end it here. With that said, like we just said, love you, appreciate you, and we'll see y'all in the next one.
Yep. See you later.
Peace. Peace.
You're not gonna do the peace, Jeremy?
Oh,
there we go.
Peace.
Oh, there.